the floor.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. Today I have the honor and responsibility to address you as the Bulgarian Youth Delegate to the 62nd session of the General Assembly. The year 2007 has been very special for Bulgarian youth. The accession in the European Union opened up numerous possibilities of mobility, education and job opportunities. It is also the first year when Bulgaria has sent its youth delegates to the UN. The drive of the Bulgarian youth to express our vocal concerns in front of the present honorable forum is a manifestation of our determination to be recognized as equal partners in the decision-making process for policies regarding the well-being of society as a whole and youth in particular. Mr. Chairman, let me first draw your attention to the most pressing issue at hand: how to guarantee the effective participation of youth in the global economy given all the challenges that affront us today. The World Programme of Action on Youth suggests the following main strategies, among others. First, attainment of educational level commensurate with youth aspirations, and second, access to employment opportunities corresponding to youth abilities. Unfortunately, after more of a decade since the adoption of WPA, today's reality is still far from reaching those goals. Unemployment has become one of the biggest challenges for global youth. As the SG report on follow-up of the WPA elaborates, 1 of every 3 youth in the world is either seeking but unable to find work, has given up searching for one, or is working under the poverty line of $2 per day. The gravity of this problem of the great influx of young people on the one hand and the deficit of decent work on the other justifies the fact that although youth constitutes only a quarter of the working age population, they still account for nearly half of the unemployed persons globally. Therefore, I call upon the member states that putting an end to the escalating juvenilization and feminization of unemployment is a matter of utmost priority. This worthy but challenging endeavor would be impossible to achieve without the full commitment of all respective stakeholders. Both the public and private sectors should undertake actions to provide for opportunities for self-employment, vocational training, poverty reduction, and job creation. An alternative way of fighting poverty and joblessness is the promotion of social entrepreneurship through support mechanisms such as trainings and financial solutions such as microcredit. I underline the importance that all youth, including persons with disabilities, indigenous, displaced or refugee representatives, should be guaranteed equal access to seed funding and micro-entrepreneurship. Distinguished delegates, please keep in mind that the costs of microfinance are immaterial to the impact of empowerment and escape from poverty and marginalization. In order to unleash the potential of the youth in the global economy, young people should be provided with the necessary resources, capacities, and education. Although in recent years there has been progress of decreasing the number of illiterate youngsters, still universal primary education is not attainable. However, in today's knowledge-based and competitive economy, fulfillment of primary and even secondary education is not any longer a guarantee for a successful entry and development in the labor market. Therefore, it's essential for young people to have the opportunity to transition to quality tertiary education, develop relevant skills through non-formal and on-the-job training. In this respect, policy-shaping institutions should provide for effective means of matching the gap between skill supply and labor market demands. Last but not least, youth-led organizations should be given credit for fostering unique soft skills, which cannot be developed in the classrooms and which contribute immensely to the youth-to-adulthood and school-to-work transitions. Mr. Chairman, besides being the driver force of poverty reduction and modernization of education, youth should be recognized also as a reliable, committed partner in achieving international development strategies such as the WPA and the Millennium Development Goals. It is exactly now, once the international community has moved into the implementation stages of its development agenda, that there is a pressing need for decisive mobilization of the youth to become not only the main beneficiary, but also the main contributor of the programs. In this light, I strongly encourage the regularization of youth consultation mechanisms in regards to designing, implementing and monitoring the progress of youth policies. An indicative example of how the youth ownership of policies contributes to enhance sustainability of development is the creation of the consultative group which assists the youth employment network in bringing about decent and full employment for youth under the MDG framework. We, the Bulgarian youth, have expressed on numerous occasions our determination to contribute constructively to the global policy shaping processes. A recent example was the submission of numerous recommendations about national strategies under WPA triggered by the 2004 Toolkit report of Making Commitments Matter. Distinguished delegates, a society's potential for progress is judged by its capacity to incorporate youth contributions in building our common future. Therefore, we, the young people, call upon all governments to include youth representatives in their delegations to the United Nations. Eradication of the obstacles preventing active engagement of youth should be a responsibility of the international community. Thus, we commend the existence of the UN Youth Fund for support of innovative ideas, but meanwhile we urge that member states minimize its current limitations for allocating resources. We strongly encourage responsive businesses, for example, members of the Global Compact Initiative, along with non-governmental and governmental organizations, to actively support the empowerment of youth delegates, as well as to facilitate other forms of youth participation. In conclusion, I want to share with you a personal dream of mine. I have a dream. I have a dream that one day, in the foreseeable future, when my children and grandchildren ask me what I've achieved in my life, I will be able with clear conscience to reply that I've contributed to the empowerment of the life-sustaining force of the world, that is, the youth. Ladies and gentlemen, please be mindful of the fact that each and every decision you take in this high-level forum impacts not only you today, but also your children tomorrow. Distinguished delegates, let my dream and the dream of 1.2 billion young people come true by recognizing us as an equitable partner in development today. I thank you very much.
I thank the distinguished youth representative from Bulgaria for her very informative statement and also for sharing her dream with all of us, which I'm sure we have taken due note of. It is